Daring Abroad, brought to you in partnership with Bank Diaspora Banking. Banking just like home.
Welcome to the program. We are glad you found time to be with us again, and I'm sure you are eager to know just what is in store today. These are the highlights.
Funerals are draining the pockets of families living abroad and their relatives back home, with many resorting to fundraising.
You can't start to talk of celebrating someone's life when there's no funds.
Find out how Diaspora Insurance, a UK-based insurance risk management firm, is helping to solve this problem.
To cover more than 13 African nationalities.
Also this week, we bring you the highlights of the just concluded Africa Women in Europe Summit in Brussels, Belgium.
We have over 10,000 women in Europe.
And on our back home segment,
I import green produce from Kenya, especially the fruits.
Why Cooperative Bank is key to Dubai-based Thomas Kamuyu's side hustle.
Great. Let's begin the show by looking at how insurance can help deal with the challenges that come with handling bereavement abroad. At the just concluded African Women in Europe Summit in Brussels, Belgium, we meet Dr. Sibat Mandega, the Executive Director of a UK-based risk management firm known as Diaspora Insurance, and the company's Chief Executive Officer, Jeff Mazingo. They are busy attending to participants who are eager to learn about the company's policies. Dr. Mandega gets an opportunity to make a presentation to the audience about the company's products, services, and impact on livelihoods.
The application process is simple, straightforward. All we need to know is your country of origin, and if you're in the diaspora, you qualify straight away. And we've been doing this product for the last 12 years, and to date, we've paid more than $4 million. So we've transformed people's realities, because most of our clients who have benefited actually don't see us as a business. They see us as family.
Great weather today, Sibat.
Yeah, it's bright, brilliant, sunny.
At some moment, I joined Jeff and Sibat for a walk outside the meeting place, which is so close to the headquarters of the European Union. Is it your first time at the EU headquarters too?
This is my first time.
As we stroll, we share a lot about life in the diaspora, given all of us are diasporians, so to speak.
You have to adapt to new systems, right? New way of thinking.
It's never the same like home.
It's never the same. Different cultures. And also you're trying to bring...
Sibat is a medical doctor, while Jeff's background is international banking finance. We reminisce on the challenges immigrants face.
We've seen so many, like you're on many WhatsApp groups, messages.
Yes.
People send in these WhatsApp messages to say, please help me to raise up funds to maybe they want to send their beloved one back home for final resting place.
From our talk, it is apparent that funerals are draining the pockets of families living abroad and their relatives back home. Many are resorting to fundraising, which consumes resources that could be used for investment.
Losing someone who is close to you, a loved person, is very traumatic. To be caught up in a situation you are facing bereavement and you are reduced to a beggar, begging for help, it becomes a double trauma. So you lose the dignity. You lose the dignity. So the family ends up in a situation of begging. The family ends up in a situation of unplanned family debt if they have to borrow money to do the send-off. And when you lose someone, there are also a lot of costs that are beyond just the fact of the death itself, because you end up with the situations like family travel, food, flowers, church service.
So Diaspora Insurance sought to provide a solution for this.
At the moment, we are providing the cover to a number of African countries, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia. We've got Ghana, Southern Africa. We've got quite a number of countries, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Eswatini, Namibia, Botswana, Zambia, Malawi. So we've got quite a number of countries, including Mozambique, who qualify for the cover.
As Diaspora Insurance, there are a lot of stakeholders in the company. We got insurance companies that work with us, reinsurers that work with us as well as stakeholders. So the company has grown massively over the past 10 or 11 years since its formation. And to date, we cover more than 13 African nationalities. So it's actually a global company. We can call it a pan-African company because we cover all these 13 African nationalities.
And how exactly does Diaspora Insurance support handling of emergencies?
The main product, which is a household product, is called the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan. So we find these situations where, God forbid, someone suffers death in the diaspora. Communities have been suffering and getting stranded when someone wants, say, to be repatriated back home and there's no money. So the intervention of the policy is to provide financial assistance within 24 hours of us receiving proof of death. We provide the funds.
The insurance scheme allows those in the diaspora to insure their relatives back home.
They'll cover, the way it's structured, you can cover as a single, that's one person, one single plan. You can cover as family plan, where you add yourself, your nucleus family, self, spouse, children. You can have cover extended family, that's a family plan. We also have the group policies where people can come in as a group. It's an association, they can come in as a group. We can cover that. In terms of how much each person can cover, the maximum we allow is 20,000. If you are in the EU, your currency of cover will be the euro. If you are in USA, your currency of cover is US dollars. If you are in UK, you are covering in pounds, Australian dollars. So we allow maximum of 20,000 for people in the diaspora outside Africa. But if you want to cover family back home in Africa, the maximum cover we allow per individual life is 5,000.
The premium depends on many factors, like the amount of cover and age.
So let me give you a real life example. Myself, I live in the UK. I've got a wife, I've got 3 kids. We are all covered on the Diaspora Insurance for 20,000 each, which means that a family, we are covered for 400,000. God forbid anything happens to any one of us, the family gets on provision of the proof of death, they get the 20,000 so that they can give their loved ones a dignified send-off. What we do is we advise all people who are interested, go on the website diasporainsurance.com. You can register there, you can do the quotation there, and if you don't complete the quotation, our sales team will get in touch, walk you through the whole process.
Diaspora Insurance is working closely with a Kenyan diaspora representation lobby group known as County 48, whose leader is Bernard Kaviu, to raise awareness about life insurance.
With the insurance, even if you go, you lose your job, we got your back. We'll take you home if you're stranded. If you happen to die there, we are saying we will be able to repatriate your body. We'll pay money directly to your family to bring you home.
It is a very sad experience that Kenyans go through. We have to do mchango. So we are having mchango after another.
Hata kwa tunatengeneza WhatsApp group ili to make sure Wakenya wamerudishwa hapa Kenya kutoka from Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Iraq, Iran. You understand?
Kenyans face issues that require them to be repatriated and they have no one to turn to. Sometimes it's very abrupt.
We formed a strategic alliance with Diaspora County 48 and we've structured a very bespoke product for Diaspora County 48 and for the Kenyans.
Leaders of Diaspora County 48 and Diaspora Insurance made a visit to Kenya recently, and part of their mission was to meet various government officials for the purpose of raising awareness on their contribution to the welfare of Kenyans living abroad.
We are very happy because we had a very successful meeting with our PS the State Department of Diaspora Affairs, Ms. Roslyn Jogu.
We are making sure that as much as a Kenyan is asking for their passports to travel or their visas, they also ask for this cover so that in distress within 24 hours we're able to reach them and we're able to give them the help that they require.
I'm really happy to meet you all. Often I have to travel to come and meet the diaspora. So we very rarely have delegations coming home. But when you're home, we're very excited to have you here. It's really a pleasure to see you all and to see you all coming from about 8 different regions and to be here to talk about important things such as support for repatriation and evacuation, but also to hear all of the work that you're doing to talk about representation and that kind of thing. The diaspora to be thinking about their own insurance product basically to deal with repatriations and evacuations is great. As you might know, it is quite expensive to repatriate the body of a Kenyan who has died away, again depending on where you have died. Some places of course are much more expensive than others. And it usually comes at a time when it's very, very traumatic for the family to think about. I think just because of our culture, a lot of people have a hard time thinking about people not being buried at home. So this is a really important service. You know, one of the things that the State Department for Diaspora Affairs is mandated to do is actually to champion the rights and welfare of the diaspora. And so part of the work we've been doing is actually these kinds of evacuations and these kinds of repatriations. So this will go quite some way in releasing that pressure on government.
Great strides there regarding the welfare of Kenyans living abroad. Time now for our Diaspora Bite segment.
Diaspora Bite, brought to you by TapTapSend. Send money to Kenya from the diaspora by simply downloading the TapTapSend app today to get started.
My takeaway home is just about adding value to yourself. Knowing how valuable you are as a person, but also remember, you cannot add value to something empty. So you ought to know that you already have some value within yourself and then add more to it. And then you give it to the society.
Diaspora Bite, brought to you by TapTapSend. Send money to Kenya from the diaspora by simply downloading the TapTapSend app today to get started. Download and use the code ChamsMedia and instantly get a cash bonus on your first transfer.
That soundbite leads us into a short break. When we return, the highlights of the just concluded African Women in Europe Summit in Brussels.
Greetings and welcome to AMG Waters Limited. My name is Martin Gethenji. I'm in charge of sales at AMG Waters Limited. I'm in one of our primest locations, only 30 minutes from Nairobi CBD, only 10 minutes to Thika Town, which means it's one of the favorite and best places for residential development. And that's a reason we've been able to sell out Juja Phase 1 all the way to Juja Phase 4. Where I am at right now, it's 60% sold at Juja Prime Phase 5. So become part of Juja Prime Phase 5 and part of this growing neighborhood by calling us today and be a smart investor.
You're watching Daring Abroad, brought to you in partnership with Coop Bank Diaspora Banking. Banking just like home.
The meeting was colorful, it was informative, it was timely. I'm talking about the African Women in Europe Summit that took place in Brussels, Belgium recently. Here is a summary of the proceedings.
There was pomp and color, and the room was painted African. As members of the African Women in Europe gathered in Brussels, Belgium, for the 2023 summit under the theme Diaspora Inclusion in Value Chain. The event saw ladies from all over Europe gather for 2 days of learning, entertainment, networking, and celebration of all things African, with the goal of empowering African women in matters trade. Championed by Germany-based Joy Zenz, the founder of African Women in Europe, the summit was not only timely, but one of its kind.
At Chams Media, my independent company, we sell content.
And there to capture every magical moment was Chams Media, the summit's media partner.
It's a routine we do, it's a discipline we do, and actually it's more empowering them, giving the women the space to really have a time to come and network. Today it was about diaspora inclusion in value chain, meaning women are going to start to learn how to do business when they're here, extend their business even in the country they are here to promote African products here in the country, because we have over 10,000 women in Europe and they know where the market is. I always say diaspora is a bridge between the two continents. We know exactly our home country, Kenya, and we know about very well our Europe continent.
This year's event included presentations by experts from various fields, panel discussions with inspiring personalities, Q&A sessions where participants got to pick the brains of industry heavyweights, and a fashion show celebrating African culture.
Training is the key in sharing knowledge, of course. There's so much we have, the diaspora mindset. For me, it's not the training, the mindset. The mindset of our people in the continent, I think somebody has to do something for you. No one has to and nobody needs to give you any permission. Just do it with the little resources you have.
Speaking of utilizing the resources available, the high-caliber event saw participation by a number of international companies who were present as sponsors and exhibitors.
We have Diaspora Insurance, which I really recommend for all the diasporans who want to be repatriated home, or even single parents or those people who live on their own to invest in Diaspora Insurance. We have Tap Send, that's where you send your money from one country. And then we have so many, like today we are very delighted to have AMD, which are the real ST, yes. We also have King Developers as well, who have also been part of us, and we also have other organizations as well who are really supporting us in the background. We also have Talkcom. We also have, don't forgetting the Kenya Airways, who have always been supporting us.
My name is Jeff Madzingo and I'm the CEO for Diaspora Insurance, based in the UK. Our remit is to make sure that we provide solutions, specialized bespoke solutions to the needs of the African diaspora.
My name is Dominic Chumo. I'm the co-founder for Chams Limited and also the Kenya Diaspora Media and Tunic Limited. We are really happy and I'm very excited with the presentation they've done here. The people we've met here from our products, most of the people run businesses and they are excited with what we do in Africa as well.
This spotlight on the corporate world by the event organizers was one of the main agendas of this year's summit, growing international trade between Africa and Europe and giving a platform to African startups.
The diaspora has a lot of knowledge and capacity to even support the continent without being there. Alex, I do this from home in Germany, and I live close to Switzerland, and I go shopping in France. So why is Kenya not shopping, and why are people going to work in Switzerland and actually living in another country? It is possible here, but I think it's all a mindset. So for the whole idea, we want the diaspora to go back home, their community. So today is about doing that, also showing the African products, coffee, teas. We support women in businesses. Since 2 years now, we've met in Cape Town. We make sure that the products are labeled, are properly prepared, and actually if they need to come to Europe, which is not the main thing, because actually the market is in Africa, where that's where the numbers is. So today was really coming to show women, this is what I have done in my little capacity.
This push by the African women in Europe is heavily supported by the Kenyan government, according to Ms. Rosaline Jogu, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Diaspora Affairs, Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs.
One of the mandates of the State Department for Diaspora Affairs is actually to mainstream the involvement of the diaspora in the process of national development. So quite simply, we are saying that Kenyans who live abroad are a critical part of who we are, and we want them to be involved in what it is that we do at home.
Indeed, there is something to celebrate, with African Women in Europe event proving that we live in a global village. And to crown it all, the summit ended on a high with an award ceremony gala dinner taking place, recognizing the incredible achievements by various personalities based all across the continent. Chams Media was also awarded for its consistency in highlighting diaspora issues. A proud moment for us. This year's Africa Women in Europe Summit was indeed a success, and organizers hope that the summit continues to serve as a catalyst for international trade for women all across the continent.
It's been awesome. The amount of value, the amount of women that are here, and what the content that they offer is just amazing. The different business opportunities that you can have, the collaborations that you can make with the different women, it is just diverse. Women coming from London, there are women coming from Ireland, there are women coming from all over, and all with the same aim of women supporting women. That is awesome.
This is my third event that I have attended with African women in Europe, and it's amazing. My impression is that when all African countries come together, they create a dynamic synergy that everybody's looking forward to.
My takeaway home is just about adding value to yourself. Knowing how valuable you are as a person, but also remember, you cannot add value to something empty. So you ought to know that you already have some value within yourself, and then add more to it, and then you give it to the society.
I've done this for 17 years. We have reached, impacted a lot of women, and now I'm building more in the continent, in Africa. Impact. That's my drive for next year. But the diaspora here needs to know that they have a lot of potential.
Great, that's quite inspiring, and kudos to the African women in Europe for that unity of purpose. Time now for our Back Home segment.
Back Home, powered by Cooperative Bank.
I'm Thomas Kamoyo Kamau. I'm a Kenyan by birth. I'm a resident of the United Arab Emirates, where I reside and do my profession as an accountant. And I've been here actually for the past 6 years. Previously, I worked in Kenya on different jobs, and I was trained professionally as an accountant. Then I got to relocate here. I got my job here through a relative, I might say, a close cousin of mine who referred me here, and he told me that you can get better and greener pastures around here. So I took the opportunity very well, and I traveled. I took the courage and said, okay, I don't know much of the UAE, I've had a lot of stories, but I must take this trip to better my future. Apart from accounting, I do some other side businesses of mine. I import green produce from Kenya, especially the fruits, and I might be specific, avocados. They are one of the best selling products around here to me. And thanks to actually the Cooperative Bank of Kenya, it has come in handy. They really help out in maintaining my financials here. If I have to access, let's say, probably a loan to enhance my business as well. And the best part is that I'm a cooperative bank agent in the UAE. I assist also in opening of bank account, in taking up of mortgages, construction mortgages, and as well if you want to buy a property within Kenya. As an agent, so far I've recruited close to 52
members.
Yes, for the Cooperative Bank. Through my assistance, they have been able to bank with Cooperative Bank, which enables them with a simple touch of a phone. Unaweza toa pesa from the Cooperative Bank account to your M-Pesa and pay for some either services, some goods. Yeah, and I was so happy because this one enables us even to renew our driving license while you are still here. And the best thing about Cooperative Bank, with a simple touch of my card here, I can swipe with a Cooperative Bank account card. While abroad, I can swipe to any of the ATM branches within here, with the different banks, pay bills from here, I'll also transact a lot with the simple card as this one, the cooperative bank account. This is a really, really true testament that cooperative bank is pushing us to our limits and it's making us do wonders from here. And another best thing about the cooperative bank is that you don't need also, probably you don't have the card with you or it get lost. These are things that happen in and out. But with a simple touch with your smartphone, you can access your cooperative bank anywhere remotely. As far as you're connected, you have an account, you can withdraw your cash. They have an app that you can simply withdraw your cash from your bank, either to your mobile money, and you can also transact with a simple touch of technology. These advancements have really helped. And definitely with these kind of innovations, with this kind of technology, it's a pure connection to our people back home, to everyone across the country, either in Lodwar, Kisumu, wherever you are, to our parents back home, you know.
Cooperative Bank, we are you.
That back home segment brings us to the end of the show. Today we were in Europe, Middle East, and Kenya. We hope you found the show informative. Always a pleasure having your company. Let's do it again next time. Bye-bye.
Daring Abroad, brought to you in partnership with Coop Bank Diaspora Banking. Banking just like home.